Jess the Ska Kid. This is $100 Habit. Hey. We are at Palace de Chilarino. If you are just tuning in, make sure to go to the YouTube channel tomorrow to make sure that you catch their performance.
Oh, it was stellar.
It was super fucking great. Also, shout out to Paul Antaramian and his group Midwest Rock Spot. He posts and allows my posts on all of his shit. And he was like, hey, give me a shout out. So shout out to you. Thank you very much for supporting Jess the Ska Kid. Yeah. And let's do introductions. I'm Jess. You are.
I'm Joe. I play guitar and I sing. And
I'm Chris, and I play the drums and other shit sometimes on the recordings.
And I'm Robert, and I play the bass.
So...
And we're $100 Habit.
You're from where?
We are from Roselle, Illinois.
Which is
it's about
around near Chicago.
10 minutes outside of the hot spots.
Siberia, currently.
Chirac.
Yeah, that's become a thing now, hey?
Yeah,
Is that why we're dedicating songs to all the killers and the victims?
Yeah.
There's actually less going on.
There has been a... I've noticed on my Facebook feed, because that's where news is, I guess.
Yes.
But there's been
Fake
lots
news.
of people burning up cars in Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I know.
Yeah. Like when Trump was going to get elected, the people were flipping cars. And
Yeah.
They couldn't get into the thing.
When he got elected, I cried. I'm not going to lie. I fucking cried. I was
You
depressed.
can't possibly care that much.
I do care. Do you know why? Because I feel like as a group of people, we have devolved to a point where that's acceptable and that we've gone
I
back
thought
to
it would
hate
be
and it's
funny just
stupid.
to see like what crazy stuff he says and does. Just as like, you know.
Antics are fine. I mean, people watch this shit for the antics, but
Exactly.
I'm saying vote for Jess. I'm just...
Yeah. Just as qualified as Trump.
I'm more qualified than that motherfucker. I know how to speak.
I don't know.
I know how to write and spell. So, hey.
He knows how to make money.
The best. He's the best. It's good. Everything is super good, right? So, you guys, Joe,
Yes.
you yourself have been in Kenosha, been on my show multiple times.
Yes, and it's always a pleasure.
You guys have played Kenosha at hat tricks and patios, and so let's do a recap because I haven't really talked to you or had
you
you
played
on
in your
for a
other
year.
old house basement?
I know,
Twice.
And then people got naked and left shit stains on the couch.
Did he really?
He did. It was gross. We had to wash the whole couch. And then he texted me, like, probably a month after
gross.
and was like, hey, do you know where my jersey is? And I was like, motherfucker,
I
you
wiped
left
up
with your clothes.
I cleaned up your shit with
It was
it.
gross. It was so gross. It's all right, though.
Oh, no, it's not all right.
Hashtag
Hey,
music
I
is
don't,
life.
that's not
No,
how I roll.
You were polite. You were
Yes.
super great. You came,
Yes.
the very first time you came and played the basement, you had that little beer can amp.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Kip played on it.
The Heineken.
Yeah? All right. So let's catch us up to speed because I have one album from you. I've played it on the air. I've played it on this show.
I should give you more stuff.
Right.
Well, actually, right now we are in the midst of recording. By the way, Chris, he's pretty talented sound man slash recording engineer, and we have 16-track reel-to-reel machine. Plus, we got Pro Tools, and we've been recently getting microphones and different kick-ass preamps, and we've been recording an album, and it's sounding really good. And he's really a good mixer. It surprised me the first time I heard one of his mixes. I was like, holy shit, man, you actually know what you're doing. Wow. It was really surprising.
He's like, thanks.
I've been doing it for 15 years, so it's like, after a while, it's like, you know where to go. Like,
You've been mixing for 15 years?
I've been recording for 15 years, so like...
So when's your album coming out? No, just kidding.
Well, okay. Here's the status right now.
Right.
Here's the status on the album. There's going to be 7 songs. 4 were all recorded at the same time that we're still kind of tweaking. We might add some stuff over the weekend. They're partially mixed. it was probably, I'd say, 65% tracked directly to tape and then dumped into Pro Tools afterwards. So you can hear the analog sound and the noise, too, which is great. And then the rest of it we did in Pro Tools because, I was recording and then dumping it back in, recording, dumping it back in, and just to make sure everything lined up, for the sake of not getting it to not sound tight, I stuck with Pro Tools for the rest of it.
So will it be a full length?
It'll be 7. 7 songs. 4.
It'll be about 14 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's 4.
2 minutes a song.
Our songs are a minute and a half to 2 minutes. I mean, like if we hit 3 minutes, it's like wow. I'm like
But
wow.
we've
How
been
long
playing
was
forever.
how long was that song, man? It felt like we were playing like 20 minutes. It's like oh, that was 3 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm like wow. It felt like we were playing like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So our songs are very short, and you saw what we're like, and
It's basically like we have 4 fresh songs that we recorded in the same session, and then there's 3 other songs from separate sessions that we're gonna remix and put on the album. So,
but they are all 2-minute little kickers, and I think we actually recorded a version of 16 Tons. To be honest, it's on there, right? Yeah.
They're all like, yeah, Joe.
Yeah. It was cool. It sounds good too.
That was fun.
That one was all on tape too. That was all tape. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Pro Tools afterwards. That was like 100% tape.
So when is that coming out?
Oh,
Do you have
gee, I
an
don't really know.
anticipation?
I don't
Like-
know. It's
Okay.
going to be a
New in 2018, you can catch these guys.
self-financed, released on the internet. That's cheesy. I mean, it's.
Why is that cheesy?
I mean,
That-
it's
that has become
people
the
can get the
way.
music, and I know that is the way, but you have nothing in your hands. But I mean, I don't know if we're going to actually.
I do. I have several of your albums, and I have shared them.
Yeah, but it's It's like, when do you release it? Well, I mean, are we going to really wait around and see if we could shop it around and get signed to a small label and have them print up albums and CDs? Or, I mean, are we just going to throw it out on the internet and it costs nothing to do that? But, at the same time, I don't know, does that cheapen it? The problem is, if everybody listened to it through like some really nice speakers or some kick-ass headphones, then it would be cool. But people listen to it through their phone speaker, and it sounds horrible. You can't hear any bass. You can't hear any fidelity.
I'm
and-
very impressed tonight. Listening to you all, you could hear each and every individual one of you.
Cool.
Which was super great because lots of times bass for some reason gets mixed out and not. I don't know why, because that is, you have to
It's a
have
very
back
important
line,
thing,
goddammit.
isn't it?
It is so important, but listening to the intricacy that was your playing tonight, you could hear each of you meld to be what you are, which is super great. Lots
Cool.
of people
Appreciate
don't do that.
it.
They just plug shit in, they do whatever, and they're like, we fucking rock! And you're like, no one heard anything but the singer who probably doesn't even know the words. But
Yeah, I don't know the words.
you know the words. Shut up.
Like since me and Joe have been recording and playing in the band together, like he's like a fucking musical genius. Like,
Thank you very much.
He can literally play anything. Like when we first started like recording together and stuff, I'm like, oh look at it, I got harmonicas. Oh look, I got this harp thing. I look at this little keyboard that you plug in, and I got this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And even Robert too, he can play everything. Like I think we all can basically kind of play everything, which I think helps. I guess, right?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah.
Joe can play drums and guitar. I can play drums and guitar. Robert can play drums and guitar and bass and everything. So it's like, I don't know. I think that helps, right?
It does
That
help.
makes sense.
Are you asking questions of your group or us?
Exactly.
Like,
No, I'm gonna.
hey, poll.
No,
Here's a
one thing.
poll. Does being able to play everything help? You can answer in the comments.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like. It's
No,
an
one thing
important
about
thing.
our music. One thing about our music is that we're a 3-piece, and it's almost kind of like jazz. You don't have a lot. There's a lot going on, but there's really not a lot. There's only 2 guitars playing, but it sounds like there's a lot. But you could hear them, and it's not so much for your brain to have to comprehend. Like jazz is easy. piano, drums, bass.
It's fun. It's
very
emotional.
easy to listen. So that's kind of how I look at it.
The other
Me too. That's a good analogy there, Robert.
That's one thing that the people who have come in and out tonight, who have been here and listening, they're like, they have soul.
Cool.
They know their roots, and they play with emotion, and you can hear it, which is true.
Awesome.
Which is why I liked you guys. Like, the very first time that I ever met y'all, you showed up with Mike as Glamour Teeth, and then you were like, here's $100 habit, I'm gonna just gift this to you, and you play it whenever and whatever. And then he comes to my basement, and he just starts fucking playing whatever he wants to. Kiff and Dan, who's upstairs, they were all playing together, and I've got video of that.
Yeah.
It was cool.
That was a great day. That was a lot of fun.
I came home from work and they had written a song about my house being
Yeah,
across the street
we
from a
did.
church. So you guys like love me so much you just write songs about
All
me.
the time.
It's super great. I'm
You
glad
pop in our head.
I'm a muse.
Yeah, you pop in our head, we jot off
I
a quick
love
song.
that fucking jingle. I shared. So this is brought to you really by Napoleon, who is a coworker of mine, super great friend. He started watching the shit and he's like, this is a thing. He did the banner. He did my web page. He did everything.
Nice.
And you sent that to me, and I was like, Napoleon, listen to this. And at work, people pass me now, and they're like, come on and listen to Jess. And I was like, right, because it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I got a funny story really quick. When we were recording,
Is
the
it a
jingle-
story into the microphone, Christopher?
Sorry, when we were recording the jingles, like, hey, I walked in thinking we were just gonna do like the first rock one, like the da da da. Come on, listen to Jess.
Yeah.
Just that one. So we record that. And it's like, okay, now do it slower. I'm like, wait, what?
I got 4. You guys sent me
yeah.
4 of them.
And then like do it slower. And then I'm like, okay, like play the guitar riff. And they're like, okay. And then I played it slower. And it's like, now we gotta do like a ska version. And I'm like, I walked in expecting to do one version, and then I'm like, okay, let's do the next one. And then we figured it out. And, yeah,
It's
but
super
but
good.
it was kind of fun, just like figuring it out on the spot. You know,
I know.
Like-
Which one are we playing?
like now we're
Doesn't
doing
matter.
the slow, like do got the
Right.
got. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, the ones that Napoleon edits all of my stuff and then puts it on the YouTubes. Which, if you're watching, go to my YouTube channel, click like subscribe, the bell to get notifications, and then message me on my Jess the Ska Kid page, and I'll send you stickers because I have merch now.
Cool.
I've got merch.
Cool.
So you guys will leave with stickers
Yeah.
tonight,
I'll
right?
put one directly onto my guitar case post haste.
That's become a thing. But that, you know, whichever one matches more appropriately with whoever is on is what gets used as the intro. So
Cool.
all of the YouTube videos have you, and you're in the credits
Cool.
as to who you are, so people can find you.
That is nice. Thanks.
So here's a question, because I got an email saying that there was an Eventsy posted. What the fuck is that? Like, you created an event called Eventsy, and it was like, for $30, I can be the admin and then send it out. What's that?
we did it or you did
It said $100 Habit created an event and invited you through Eventsy.
Huh.
Yeah,
I did
no?
not know that.
No Dead Heroes
Because, I
who's
mean-
on next week. Okay.
Well, no, because when we did the thing, of course, I want to advertise it
Right.
and get out to the couple of people that like us to, check it out. And maybe it's something new that they
Maybe
funnel
that is
this
a new
stuff
thing.
through, because I never heard of it before.
Okay.
Right now saying it.
Nobody knows. We're the fuck ups, and you can find us here. No.
Yeah.
So, let's get down to who does what in your group. When I ask this question of everybody, who writes the music? Do you work collaboratively, or does Joe just show up and say, we've got all these songs,
Well,
and you guys are like,
it's
that's
both.
good?
It's both. Most of the time, I'm like, hey, man, I got this little riff in this song, and because I don't even really think it's a song until you have words and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody could sit there and write riffs all day, but on the other hand, we also do almost every practice like freestyle jam for a good 20, 30 minutes before we even play our first
gonna
serious
say,
song,
that's
and
your
just
warm-up,
meld
right?
into different jams, and sometimes some of the stuff turns into something, It just depends. I mean, most of the time, it is actually really cool. It's like, wow, we could be like a Fish jam band if we really wanted to,
That
I
would
mean,
make
it would be
Mike's
really
day.
crazy. But so It's both.
Okay.
And sometimes different things trigger a thought. You know, if he has an idea or something, or somebody says something.
Slightly.
Good.
A little bit, you know.
Like when we're recording right now, I told Joe, like, after I'm done recording the drums, I'm gonna act like I'm not in the band, and then be like,
Why?
so I can like produce it. So
Ah.
like it's like, okay, let's add another guitar here to like make the
Stop
chorus
messaging
pop.
me to practice so I can get our shit done.
You know,
Gotcha.
Or like we should add like a vocal harmony here. Or let's bust out the organ or like the air keyboard. You know, like
That's cool.
Every song of the 4 has something different in it that's unique to it. And I was trying to get them to be like each song you could pick out like, oh, it's that song with that thing. Or
Hey, we even have a song that this kid Anthony from Starbucks, by where Chris lives, because he goes to Starbucks so much, that the kid came over and played trumpet on one of our tracks on
Yeah?
Stick and Move.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it's really cool. We got a couple of rough
He's
recordings
not
of
running
it.
Punch, is he?
No.
Okay.
No. Why? It's a kid named Anthony in Running Punch?
There is, and it's a ska band. Yeah.
But he's the trumpet guy?
I think so.
No, this is not him.
No?
Because I seen Running Punch. I don't
Okay.
know them, but I have seen
Anthony
them and met them a
Christopher.
few times. We
Shout
played a
out to
show.
Running Punch.
$100 Rock and Roll Abortions played a show with Run and Punch at the Cobra Lounge.
Okay. Yeah, that's where we just were.
Just not long
for
ago.
a show.
I don't know,
And our
a few
fucking
months
car
ago.
got broken into and my
Really?
friend's gear got stolen.
that I played at with the Cobra Lounge, the rock and roll.
Well, if you played drums at the Rock and Roll Abortions gig, then yeah, that's the one you played at.
Like in January, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was like right after I got out of the hospital.
yeah.
There we
Right
go.
after they let Chris out of the nut house.
It's okay. We're not judging here. We're inclusive. Shout out to all those people who just got released. It's cool. Apparently, I saw somebody posted on Facebook. They're like, I've been clean a year. And then they're like, just kidding.
I've been cleaning it. I'm going to get high to celebrate.
Yeah, that's right. I Get High. Isn't that one of your songs?
Yeah.
It was a picture. It was. And you said I got out a year ago. Never mind. Just kidding. It was a cigarette, coffee, and a pill emoji. It was you. I liked it. I was like, this fucked
Yeah, I took a
up.
picture. Like I had to drive my dad to the doctor just to get his eyes checked. So he got cataract surgery.
He's got the glaucoma.
And we drove past it. And I took a picture, and I'm like, it's almost been a year. But hey, I'm back on him again.
Don't do benzos.
Don't do
but
them. Thanks.
Do them. Do them
It's
appropriately.
it's under control though. It's fine.
All right.
Like,
Good.
I have like a really, really bad anxiety problem. That's why, like,
That ain't no lie.
Yeah?
This kid is strung like a fucking fiddle.
So
Dude, he's strung tight like a.
when
I
I
don't
met
even know what.
when I met you, you played in lots of other stuff. Are you still in a lot of the other things that you were in, or is anybody in any other band? Are you dedicated?
No,
just to-
actually, right now, it's just doing this, and me and Chris have been trying to get bands to come in our studio, the Outhouse, to record.
Yeah,
'cause
let's
we
talk
have,
about that because that's
you know,
a thing.
And actually, he actually knows more about it than I do, but I can honestly say that I could make any kind of recording, but I got to use the tape machine. I do not know how to do the computer yet.
Yeah?
I'm getting there. I mean, slowly, but the truth is I can get down there and crank out a song on the reel-to-reel and the no time flat. But I know that it's actually probably faster if I knew how to do it on the computer.
no, but the tape sounds way better. Like if like you, I don't know.
Lots of people like that sound.
It butters it up. Like digital's too sterile, and if you have like the right gear, like we've been buying, like we got the Neves now, the pair of Neves, we got the 4 APIs. Those kind of de-sterilize the digital sound.
These are preamps for you people out there that don't know what he's talking about.
There
These
you
are
go.
preamps that you plug the microphones into that enhance the sound in some way or another. Each one of them's got their own, like, you know, characteristics and their differences and their pluses and minuses. But yeah, just, you know, he's barking out model numbers. I just thought I'd interject that.
If a mic preamp doesn't have transformers, it's not a good mic preamp.
Right. Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
For all you out there who listen to sound,
But
or in this,
there's one thing I want to say about the stuff that we're gonna be releasing.
Mm-hmm.
At least the 4 that we recorded like together like recently, they actually sound fucking huge
Yeah.
because of the gear we bought and like the way we chose to go about doing it.
And you guys are do it yourself all
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
You do play really well.
Yeah, we played it really well, and it does sound huge because our gear is getting better and better and better, and we're getting cool mics. And let's let Robert talk for a couple minutes. He keeps
Robert
saying these
was
little
like, "I wanna
comments, and
stand
I
in the
know
back.
that you
I don't wanna
can't hear
talk.
him at
Why
all.
are you doing this, Joe?
No, it's pretty warm. I would think everything that we do is good. It's on tape. It does go through Pro Tools, though, right? Eventually, you know. So it's got, you know.
And the final mixes I'm just gonna run.
And they just got a Ramza board. Why don't you tell them about the Ramza board? Yeah.
This Ramza board that we got from the 80s is the same board, not the exact same one, but it's the same make and model as the one that Nirvana recorded Bleach on. So that's pretty cool, you know, Bleach, the Nirvana album.
The channels are a little fucked up. A few of them are, but I actually got some stuff that we still have to put in, remember, from Paul Wolf. I know there's a company called API which makes like large format consoles. I know the owner that owned it for 20 years.
That's
and
cool.
we kind of work together sometimes and whatever, and I talked to him on the phone, and he sent me stuff to add to the master section of the board to silk it up. Oh yeah, and sometimes I'll send him tracks of our stuff, and he'll mix it and send it back just to like for the hell of it. Like, here's my mix, you know, and like it's kind of funny. It's neat.
So should you have a whole thing, if you're going to release this online, called undercuts of the stuff he did?
What do you mean?
Like, you could release your stuff as how you've released it. But
Yeah.
if he mixed it for you too and sent it back so you could listen, you could do a whole thing called undercuts, and it's somebody else who mixed it for you.
Yeah, like yeah, different versions of the same song, maybe, I guess.
Right?
So this is a service.
more you
Wait,
know.
did you? Is this actually out there? This is something that exists right now.
No,
Undercuts.
like that's a new original thought. You heard it
Oh
here
man,
first. Jess the Ska
dude,
Kid.
that is a good
You know
idea,
why? 'Cause
man.
music is
That's
life.
a great idea.
Right? They're
Good
like, this
idea.
is super cool. Do that. Yes.
I thought it was something that
No.
existed already, and
Nope.
you'd like put
No,
the
no.
other version of your album onto this site called Undercuts, which
No, it's a new thing. I
Yeah.
just did it. Right. Undercuts.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And then you would credit people who like did it and who like you, because then you're building business and you're building that
Yeah.
collaborative nature.
Should I tell them about the flash drive secret thing?
The flash drive secret?
The cards with the lanyards?
Just show, yeah, just the Ska Kid.
That's it's not really a secret,
Joe
but
doesn't feel comfortable without his fucking guitar in his hand.
it's too much. It's too much money to do. But what would be neat, since everything's digital nowadays, you know, like there's USB sticks.
Yes.
They make USB sticks that look like credit cards.
Yep.
And you flip the thing out, and then you can plug it in, right?
That's what V was telling me about.
Right. Well, what we wanted to do was have at our studio something like where you could print the logo of the band onto this card, and then give them their album instead of CDs and
Yeah.
whatnot. Like, I don't know, 10 of these cards or whatever, however many they want or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and
That
that
would
would
be
be like
super
some
cool.
really cool new technology, because even all the cars now have the little
Bluetooth
thing that
thing.
just
You
plugs
plug
right in, you know?
And it would be like, you'd have like the full quality WAV file on there that when you plugged into your car, say, you listen to like the full quality version, not just like a CD or MP3.
Right.
But it would have the other, you know, qualities on there. So if you plugged it into your computer, you can like drop it in your iTunes or whatever.
Right.
And then other content like pictures and like lyrics.
That
and
would be
videos and
super
shit.
cool. Do that.
But it's really expensive.
Is it?
Yeah, like it's a lot of money. Like CDs are like literally, I'm not kidding, probably like 10 times cheaper to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only problem. It's
So
kinda
you start a
expensive.
GoFundMe and say, "Hey, we want to try this new idea," or
Well, here's the thing.
you have
It's,
the band
here's
buy
the
it and
thing.
bring it to you.
Well, here's the
And then
thing.
you-
If a
you charge
band would come
different
to us and say,
studio
"Hey, we want these,
price.
and here's how many we want," and that would be fine. But the other thing is you don't know who's going to want them or not, and you can't get blank ones. They won't give us blank white ones, like, say, that we could print onto ourselves. And so it makes it unfeasible for us because we'd almost actually need a band that already recorded and had an order. What we want to do is have it after they're done recording immediately, not like wait for the printing and all this shit. Like immediately the thing's ready. Here you go, bang.
Awesome.
And it's got their fucking logo on there because that's not a big problem getting a kick-ass printer or whatever.
Right.
But they won't, like, these blank cards are like $9 each or something. It's like, how could you even look someone square in the eye,
well,
realistically, and tell them?
Bands pay people $8 to $15 per shirt to do a shirt. So,
well, that's too much.
Is that too much?
Wouldn't you think so? I mean, I know I printed up
a business, but
no.
but think about it. If you were to market differently, all right, say that you did the GoFundMe, you got a bunch of these things.
Sure.
All right, you could adjust your studio cost to accommodate for that. Or if that band wanted that specifically, you would say there's an additional fee for blank.
Right.
It's all about how you market it because that is a really cool idea.
But it would be kind of cool too because then they'd fit in like your wallet and your purse. You could have a stack of them like this.
I'm the wrong person. I don't fucking carry a purse.
Oh,
Fuck
whoever.
that
You got.
Who carries a purse? That's
you have
dumb.
pockets though.
I do.
And you don't want
his
a
name is
stack
Kev.
of CDs compared to
I
a
call him
little
pockets.
thing.
Not a joke. This boy carries everything for me.
Poor Kev.
I do. I call him pockets.
Like, if a band comes in, like, to the outhouse, we want them to walk out with
a product.
with the box of everything so they can, like, literally like, walk out of the studio, go to the show the same night, and have their merch, like, all ready to go and sell. You know what I mean?
So, go on.
I was just gonna say, every band's dream is to go in and record a song and then walk away with something.
Yep.
And how many times as a band you go in and, oh, yeah, we'll send it to you. We got to do this to it.
Oh, I know.
We got to do that to it. You walk away with something and you feel great.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's disappointing when you walk away empty-handed, and it's always fun to go into the car and check it out on that stereo, and then go
What
in
did it sound
and then
like?
check
Here,
it out
look at
on the
this.
boom box, and then check it out on the home stereo, and then,
I do know.
it kind of. And they're always like, hey, I couldn't even believe it. We went to a studio in Schaumburg or somewhere, Hoffman Estates, and they don't even have a CD burner in the whole entire studio. And I mean, this is like a high-tech studio with all the gear, and they don't have a CD player or burner in the whole joint. It was mind-boggling to me. It's all right, Mike.
So, the outhouse, right? Yeah. Where can people find that? Because if you're a band who's listening and you're in the Chicagoland area, Roselle, etc.
The website is outhouserecording.com. And we're also on Facebook. It's the Outhouse Recording Co.
And you can find that, too, if you didn't pay attention or you're too high watching this, or you're like, hey, man, that's cool. And you can go to Jess the Ska Kid because, A, Chris is my friend, and B, so is the Outhouse page.
And just for anybody watching, if you reference this interview, I'll give you 15% off. How
That's
about
awesome.
That?
Oh!
And a free RC, too. Royal Crown Cola.
You better make sure they subscribe to
now
the
that's
channel.
a deal if I ever heard of one.
Underground
and that
music
is
that's
good
really underground.
At least 6 months into 2018.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
So, upcoming shows. Do you guys have upcoming gigs? Are you booked anywhere? What's going on? Don't laugh at me.
I wish. You know what? We need a We need a manager. That's what we need.
You do.
We do.
You need a road manager.
Or-
Where you want to go play, motherfuckers? I can make that
All
shit
right,
happen.
well, let's do it.
Really? Because
Yeah,
like for
I'm ready
real,
to
I
go
can do that.
anywhere.
You heard it
go
here first.
anywhere.
Because
I've been everywhere and I'll go anywhere.
I've been everywhere, man. You gotta
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that one
I've been
next.
everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
Yep.
That's a
We're
great
gonna switch
one.
interviewers for a second.
All right.
Ready?
Kip's leg is asleep.
Kiss, Kip.
All right, well,
All right.
I don't normally do this.
All right, Kip.
I
Cool.
still can talk, and I have a voice.
Nice.
Okay, this is probably going to be asked anyways. influences. What are your influences?
Oh boy. Well, I like the Stones. I like Ramones, Nirvana, anything that's rocking, you know, really rock and roll. And my favorite thing though, I gotta say, is like Ray Charles, man. That's what I listen to a lot. Like, I find myself wanting to listen to that all the time. And when I go to the used record store, I find myself looking for Ray Charles records all the time. So, and then every time I buy one, no matter how many I have, I never get let down. I just love, I don't know, man, something magical about that. But, yeah. But, you know, Sex Pistols, Ramones, good punk, good rock, real rock and roll. The Stones. I like a lot of Beatles and stuff. And, you know, they always say that you like the Stones or the Beatles. And I like the Stones. But I like them both, too. You know.
Musicians
and,
are for good musicians.
AC/DC, I used to love that shit, man. That's probably like Kiss. I used to love a lot when I was young, you know, like Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley and Angus Young is probably the reasons that I would say that I played guitar.
Yeah, they're...
Period.
Yeah,
like why I started to play guitar.
Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Fucking awesome. Hendrix I liked a lot
Same
when we
here,
were kids,
same here.
man.
He
I mean,
really
oh my
influenced
God,
me
that's
as a little
sick. That shit is so good. My younger brother, he could play Hendrix so good on the guitar. It's ridiculous. My brother Nick. Oh my God. It's like, holy shit, dude. It's awesome. And these guys, like Chris, I know he likes Bad Religion and Strung Out, Black Flag.
Pass the mic over.
Pass the microphone, bruh.
Black Flag.
If like influences, like for me solely, if I was making stuff up, like some stuff I made up in the past, like my ex-girlfriend would say it sounds like if Mogwai, Misfits, and Converge fucked and had a baby. That's kind of like my...
So nobody
That's
knows
what he
whose
likes.
child it is because the cum is everywhere?
Yeah, there's like a threesome or stuff, but like old punk, like punk at heart. But I'll listen to other like stuff that's not even punk nowadays. Like this is kind of funny, but have you ever watched True Detective on HBO? The shitty
No.
second season.
Have not.
You know Lara Lynn.
Yeah.
I love her. I love fucking Lara Lynn. I actually saw her play at the old school Town of Folk in downtown Chicago like a year ago.
That's cool.
But it's kind of like, like eerie, kind of creepier. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, I'm kind of more melancholy with everything, Like, I like that type of shit, like darker shit.
You know what else is really good, man? It's like what I would really get into for like about when in my later teens, early 20s, all the way until like into my,
It's okay.
for a long time.
Age.
I listen to nothing but like John Coltrane, Charles Mingus, fucking Albert Eiler, any kind of crazy jazz, Sun Ra, all that good shit. That was like at one, Thelonious Monk, and I thought I'll never listen to anything but jazz again. And I had a recording studio going at the time, and there was a music store in my neighborhood, so I had a lot of business, and these kids would come over, and I would let them just buy my records out of my record collection, and I sold all my punk and all my metal and all my rock, and I thought I'd never listen to anything but jazz again, that I was done with that other stuff. I was above it now. And my wife is like, dude, you're going to be sorry, man. And down the road, I was like, fuck, man, where's that? Oh, man, where's that Suicidal Tendencies album? Oh, I'm such a dummy. Oh. Right. Exactly. So, I like everything, I would say, at this point. Like, even, like, say, I don't know, Miley Cyrus or something like that, even though I'm not even that familiar.
Wrecking ball? You came in like a wrecking ball, didn't you, Joe?
Is that her? I'm unfamiliar with it. I've seen her on YouTube. I saw her do these like backyard sessions with her band.
Yes,
That's the only stuff I really saw. I don't know Wrecking Ball.
It's all right.
It's okay. It's really
Good.
okay.
If you're gonna be a stripper, you should know certain things.
I'm not planning on that.
What? Make sure to get your AIDS cut out.
My name's Misty.
Right.
Misty lips.
I'll say
Misty
something.
Lips.
So, Misty
With
Lips.
a
Now that's.
Z.
Right?
I like bands like the Dead Kennedys, man. That's out of all the punk bands, I like the Dead Kennedys at Singer's Crazy.
Jello?
He's weird. The Ramones weren't mentioned either, so we like the Ramones a lot. The first thing, Stones.
And then the remote.
Yeah,
I was peeing.
but yeah, and
He-
anything classic
Slightly.
is all good. But Dead Kennedys are cool. I like them.
They're fucking tight.
Yeah, and they jam some intricate stuff. It's not just 3-chord
No,
nonsense.
they
so,
they
yeah.
were a
Yeah.
lot of they had a lot of sound,
Yeah,
and it was like
I admire
so
that.
different from anything
Yeah.
I had ever
Like
heard.
Iggy Pop and the Stooges,
Like-
they made a lot of noise. It's not a lot of melody and sweet stuff. It's a lot of hard
It
clanging
was
and
yes,
over the edge noise.
heavy
And we like
stuff.
noise.
Yes,
Okay,
it is awesome, man. Really.
what
Beer guy.
along with influences, what influenced your sound for this band?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. You
It
know,
could
another
be-
thing
it
I
could
like
be-
a
it
lot
could
is
be
like
something like
New York
like a-
Dolls. I like a lot. I don't know. Yeah, I've been on a punk rock binge for like the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, and
I hear you, man.
and I was, you know, when I was a kid
Hi,
too.
Justin. His drummer is watching.
Hey, Justin.
Raise your beers. Cheers. Because we're not
Cheers.
at work. And we can drink right now.
He can't.
Hey,
Well, he
Justin.
probably could, but probably shouldn't.
Bottoms up, pal.
He's like, I already did. That's what my thermos is for. That's how you adult in the 1950s.
Yeah. You say, hey, bitch, get me a martini.
Right, exactly.
And then
Harassment happens at work, or
You
I
just
wanna
slap
bring
her
you
on the
coffee
ass and
with
tell her
me.
to get over it.
You're just like, we're playing 1950s today. I'm allowed to say everything misogynistic, and you still have to do what I say. Now, make
Yeah.
me a sandwich. You're pretty. I like your thighs.
Now go make me something to eat, honey. Hey, Toots. Hey, Doll, could you get me a beer?
Dude, there is an old creepy security guard who calls me baby and doll all the time, and he's like, he'll talk to
I
me.
call people Doll, but I don't
There's
mean
a
it in a weird,
difference.
creepy
You're
way.
not, and you're not a security guard who's supposed to protect me. I don't feel safe with this guy.
all right.
I actually have something to add about the influencing thing. Like, okay, when I joined the band or whatever and played drums,
The washer beer.
the washer beer.
Go on.
No, like when you know, because I'm like sort of like everybody asked me to play drums, but I play guitar. Well, I don't know what my main instrument is anymore because it's kind of blurred. Just music. But anyway, like what I noticed when I joined, like in terms of like style, you know, and like how like Joe's riffs and Robert's like bass lines and stuff, like it sounds simple if you just hear like the guitar by itself. It's like, oh, okay, sounds simple, but it has like this weird like simple complexity to it where like when I'm like trying to make up the drums or like play the drums to it, there's some weird thing that's like, wait, this is actually a little more complicated than it sounds to do. It's not just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
I wanted to add that because it's really weird. It's like simple, but it's actually kind of like a little bit complex once you kind of get into it. Like,
Okay. How long have you been in the band?
I don't know. Like me and like
I don't know.
me and Joe were in the Cobains together, and we got punted out.
Yes. Okay.
Why? I know they're not there.
No, I wasn't. We got kicked out, but we were playing together before that.
What?
No, it's fine.
Is it because you were
Here's the
better
thing.
than them?
Well, no,
You
here's
think
the
you're
thing.
better than me?
Here's
You
the
think you're
thing.
better than
Wait,
me?
no. Here's the thing. What happened? Here's the only problem with us getting kicked out of it was he did it on a text and he didn't do it
He broke up with you like a lame ass girl?
On a text.
You should have sent him a care package with chocolate, Midol, and tampons. Fuck that. I'm in a punk rock band, but I'm going to break up with you via text because I'm not punk rock enough to say you guys are kicked out at practice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm allowed to talk shit. It's my show. Fuck you, and you still want to be on
I
it.
didn't mean to bust out the Cobain's word, but I did because that's how me and Joe like basically met. And then we like start just jamming on our own, like on the side, a lot. So it's been a long time.
And the kid that ran the Cobains was jealous and actually like would tell us stuff like, I don't think it's a good idea for guys in the band to play in other side bands because it makes you like forget the songs that and I'm like, dude, man, the more and I'm thinking the more you play in the more different bands, the better you're gonna fucking be. It's not like your brain gets filled up and it's like I know 30 songs now and I can't learn any more. I have to forget one to learn a new one. No, that's not how it works.
No.
You fucking play, and the more you play, the better you are, and the more different bands you play in, and the more shit you know.
Because they're all different styles.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the other thing is your brain doesn't actually get filled up.
No.
Is you could keep learning more and more songs, as many as you want.
This is true. That's why people can play without looking at music. Like in marching band, you have to learn how to play 6 to 7 songs memorized in full piece. Fuck you.
Or you're not really playing, or you really don't know it.
Right. We would get tested. We would be given our repertoire of songs that we had to learn, and saxophone and clarinet.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know. I played both of them too.
So,
of course, if you play clarinet, you play alto.
Right. That's a thing. Yeah, I didn't play flute.
That's very hard. That's one that I cannot get a good, powerful sound.
Flute.
I can't get a good sound out of it.
But we had to pass a test. If we didn't memorize our stuff, then we were not allowed to be in the marching band.
Well, Jess, you'll like this. You'll like this story. You'll dig this story. We were in high school band, in like regular concert band, and our band sucked.
Oh, no.
Okay, and the teacher told us the only way we're gonna win is if we go up there and we play our 2 or 3 whatever pieces with no music. So it was very dramatic. We all went up there and we took the music stands and we walked over to the side. And we won. And you know what? The truth of it was there was 10 other bands that were better than us, but it was so impressive that we all knew our shit. And the thing of it is in the practices, the only 3 fucking songs we played were these 3 at the concert. It's like, oh man, if I got to hear this fucking thing again, it's like the wind beneath my wings or some shit. It was like driving me fucking mad, but we won.
Every year, KUSD, Kenosha Unified School District, does an event called Bandorama.
Cool.
All of the bands in Kenosha throughout the school district come and they play in one place.
Cool.
But they do...
That's awesome. All the school bands.
All of them. It was super cool. It's a super fucking huge event. I did it every year from 5th grade on.
Wow.
But everybody has to play the opening and the closing together and a middle song together.
So
that they
all the bands, so there's like 10,000 kids playing at the same time.
Yes. So we had to play John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever every fucking year. And it was like, I hate this song, I hate this song. And my dad would always be like, I fucking love this.
It must be
I love it.
But if you don't have to practice it and learn it 1,000 times, it must be very powerful to hear.
When you move chairs,
10,000 kids playing it,
super
though.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Upstairs, you can
That's
listen
pretty
to
cool. I would like to check that out.
They have
I ain't gonna lie.
They have a different composer. They made a CD every single year.
Cool.
They would choose a different composer, pick their song for everybody to play, and that person came in as the guest conductor.
So each band has their cut on the CD, and then the massive conglomeration of John Philip Sousa.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I will show you. It's called
That's
Bandorama.
Hilarious.
It's coming up in February, the first weekend of the month.
Why does it got to be in such a cold month? I mean, why wouldn't they do it?
The same reason why we have to wear fucking wool outfits.
I mean, really,
from March
but why wouldn't they do it in a more reasonable month, like say April?
They do
May.
They do a summer event called the Ice Cream Social, and it's the same thing. It's super cool, and it's done at the Kemper Center down by the lake.
Cool.
Support your local band boosters.
Yeah. And when a kid comes to your door and wants to sell you a sticker for his high school band or whatever, just buy the thing and put it in your window, will you?
Music helps people.
Because they're dropping that shit from schools, and that's the first thing to go. And it's like, really, the truth is that the best thing that they could be learning out of everything that they teach you is the fucking music part.
But
the rest of it, and math.
That's why. If you are a musician, you understand math
Chris loves
better.
math and science, by the way,
good.
ladies.
Hey, ladies. Hey. So we're getting close to the end here. Let's talk about where can we find you guys? Where are you? Where is your music?
Well, we're on Facebook, $100 Habit. That's, 100 with the number 100 and then the word dollar and then the word habit. And then, you can find us on Bandcamp where we got a lot of songs. And we have, I think there's a $100habit.com that our old drummer Matt Barber, who I have nothing against him, we never even really, he's still in the band as far as I'm concerned.
He just doesn't come to practice.
He just doesn't want to hang around with us.
Don't tell Chris
but
that.
No, but but so we have a few different websites and stuff, and the best way to probably get a hold of us is through the Facebook thing or through
You have a Reverb Nation. Can people
we
get
have
your
the
stuff
Bandcamp thing where you could just you can get our songs, but most of those are demo version. There's a lot of actually demo versions of
the songs?
Our album that we're making right now that I recorded
on
my own.
You can always listen to this show because I play it probably once a month. Undercuts.
Yeah, or you could listen to this show because she plays it all the time.
I do. Since you gave me those CDs, I've played them all. Like, I've played and now that I don't have FCC shit, I just play the whole
You can play any of
album.
the songs because you don't have to ask me which ones say the F word.
Right, and
I'm like, I'm always like going, damn, there's only like 3 songs we can play on this CD on the radio.
Right, no, I've played it now in its entirety.
Cool.
And I sing along and I whistle to it.
Nice.
So people are like, why? What is that? And I'm like, I'm having fun. So you heard it here first. I'm Jess the Ska Kid. This is $100 Habit.
Yeah, I'm Joe.
Chris.
Robert.
And our basement's really cold, so we're done. And we love you all.
And we had a really good time too, man. And
subscribe
Computer
to my
Land,
channel.
we love you, and you should subscribe to her thing. And plus, because she always plays cool bands, I watch her shit all the time. Jess knows what's up.
Are you the next one to be discovered? Come on my show. We're now booking. We're full through the first Thursday in March. So feel free, like the page. Your band has to like the page. All your members. Don't give me this bullshit where it's like, I don't know when my drummer's gonna like it. You see that? That's a polite fuck you. So like my shit, message me.
Come on, listen to Jess because the show